Okay, good morning. Welcome, everybody. First things first, we are recording this webinar, so just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Second thing is right now I have all your microphones off, um, but this is going to be a lightly attended webinar, so feel free to unmute yourself if you have questions as we go. Um, Looking forward to hopefully answering a few of your questions as we kind of move through the topics this morning. So once again, welcome. I'm Rich Kennedy. If you don't know me, I'm the Director of Handicapping Membership Services, New Jersey State Golf. And today we are going to be focusing on the functions in the USGA admin portal, which mainly relates to the management of your GHIN rosters. Right now, I'm sharing the presentation outline. So this is an outline of what we're going to go over today. I'm going to try to keep this about 1 hour. I don't want to keep you too long with this. We're going to move through topics relatively, um, I don't want to say quickly, but just want to give you some insight, the ability to review. If I move too fast, feel free to ask questions. Also, feel free to send me a note, and maybe we can circle back and really kind of dive into some of the things that you might be looking for more information on, if it doesn't get covered today. So, quick question. I should have asked this before. Can you all hear me? Great. Um, Use the chat up here on the. I'm gonna completely share my screen now, so I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm just gonna share my entire screen. It's gonna make it easier as we go. Use this chat upper left here if you have any questions. I'm gonna keep checking this as well. If you're not comfortable using your mic, just go ahead and type your questions in the chat. So if somebody can, again, I just want to confirm that you guys can all hear me. If you can just type into the chat that you're hearing me loud and clear, that would be great. Great. Thanks, Bruce. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a key function in the admin portal, and it relates. I know we have some people represent private clubs. This function is a really important function, but it's mainly focused on public courses. So I'm going to use I have Bailey Golf Course here as my example club. I'm in the portal right now. If you don't have this on your desktop or wherever your workstation is, computer, make sure you have this URL right here that I have highlighted, adminportal.usga.org. This gets you into this screen right here, just kind of where you log in. I have multiple clubs that I can log into. Some of you do have that. Some of you, especially my people that work for county courses, you may be able maybe a need for you to log into a couple different golf courses. So you have that drop down option there, and this kind of puts you right into the your portal. And just going to come back. Just got a note from somebody. Got a couple people I need to accept into the meeting. And I'm going to just change a setting right now that it's going to allow anybody who wants to join to just bypass the lobby. Okay. Okay, sorry for the pause there. So back into the admin portal. So here we are. We got our rosters. I got a great layout here. We got these filters at the top. We got you know roster. We have golfer groups. We have accounts. We're focusing on roster right now. Immediately brings up all of your active golfers. If you need to look at uh, inactive golfers, all you do is check that box. Screen refreshes, brings up your active and inactive golfers. If you just want to filter it with just inactives alone, you have that option. You have this option with types. If you want to look at juniors, just select type J. Want to look at just regular members, just type R. And then obviously you have your gender filters here as well. So really cool ability to filter and sort through your rosters. We're going to keep coming back to some of these options that are great when they relate to scores as well. Okay, so I'm at a public course, Bailey. The thing with public golf courses is that a seasonal service that you're providing to your members. And at the beginning of the season, it's always a good idea right around this time. We recommend anywhere from March 15 to March 31st to go ahead and inactivate your roster. Um, that way, as golfers are paying you for their seasonal GHIN membership, you're activating them, and then the people that show up on the billing on a bill that comes out first week of June are all people who've paid you for the service, and there's no discrepancies. So the easiest way to do that is you can just, again, I'm going to refresh the screen, and we can just go ahead and click um, upper left-hand corner, all pages. I can click inactivate, and I'm going to inactivate all of the selected golfers. I can do it that way. Submit, and that'll inactivate everybody. I also have this really nice option to set a date. And this is something that you can do at any point. Um, Maybe in January, you're just kind of going through a checklist of items, and this is one of them where you would set this to inactivate all your golfers on March 31st because you're going to accept payment on April 1st. Now, again, you can do that at any time. It doesn't have to be March 31st. Really, anytime. The key is that you're able to accept registrations for the season. So your registers are open. You're ready to accept payments. Great time to go ahead and activate golfers. And March is a really good time to do it, because that allows your golfers who had their memberships in a previous season, they can use it if they go away in the winter, go play some cool places in Florida. They can post those scores without any interruption. But now we're getting close to the season where we can start posting here in New Jersey. So this is a good time for them to come in and renew their handicaps. Um, Refresh this again. So at the top of the screen here, you have these directionals. So as you navigate through the admin portal, pay attention to those directionals. They basically tell you where you are. If I'm in reports, templates, reports, templates. So it just kind of gives you a nice little map of where you are, and then you can always kind of come back to this main screen. Um, so that's an act. So again, now that golfers are inactivated and people come in to pay, if they're inactive members coming back to pay, you do have the ability to search your inactive golfers, and if you know they're in your roster as inactive, you can just check their name and then just click activate now, submit, and that will activate the golfer. You can also just click on the name of the golfer and go to their profile and under club memberships. you have the ability to just click this box to activate them. That makes them active. Um, just by clicking under club memberships, status, checking that box next to active, makes them active. Now, what I just did was I inactivated the golfer. So you can inactivate golfers there as well. So some really important roster management steps right there for my public courses. This again, this guarantees that anybody who's active now, somebody who either has gone online, used your online renewal registration and paid to be active for the season, or they came to the shop and they paid their, 35, $45, whatever it is you're charging for the season, and they're active. So, a couple of important dates. If you have a pen and paper right now, write them down. So April 1, as indicated, that is the first day to post scores in New Jersey and surrounding states, Pennsylvania, New York, most of New England, um, Maryland, and I think Maryland is in Delaware are also April 1st. So all the kind of the northeastern states where we start posting on April 1st. I know the conditions look good. They've looked good for a couple weeks. And they're close to getting at some of your courses, close to getting to normal kind of conditions, but we're still we still stick to that date as the standard date for posting scores. And so that's April 1. The next important date is May 15. May 15 is the cutoff for you being able to inactivate golfers without getting billed. So use that May 15 date. We're going to send the invoices out the first week of June, but use that May 15 date as your cutoff date for inactivating golfers, and you should be good to go. And that's an important date for my private clubs on the line and public courses as well. Just keep that in mind. Private clubs, you're going to have members that may decide to take a leave of absence for a year, that kind of thing, or they move away. So you want to make sure that the golf staff um, is communicating with the accounts and that those golfers are inactivated, so you don't get billed for them. So really important, just easy steps, but important to kind of take care of that this time of year, and that makes sure when we bill you in June, no issues with those bills. All right, so moving on to some other functionality within the admin portal. So we talked about activating and inactivating. If we just want to add golfers, we have this green button up here on the right corner. We want to click that button. It gives you two options right away. If the golfer has a GHIN number and they come to you, hey, it's a Bailey golfer. He may be coming from another course nearby, but he's deciding he wants to, he's going to play Bailey more, and maybe he wants to join the men's association at Bailey. So he's going to give you his GHIN number, and you're going to click search for existing golfer. The other thing he can potentially give you is the email address, the GHIN number and email address, as long as that's the email address he uses for his GHIN stuff. Great ways to search. I just put in my email that gives you, brings up all my previous clubs, brings up my GHIN number. And you can also do just GHIN number here as well. So just punch in if GHIN number is the best. Because obviously that kind of just drills down the identity of the golfer. Select the type. So we have this information here. It's only two types, J and R. J is for junior. R, just click add golfer. And then you can just go ahead and add another golfer if you have other golfers you want to, you got kind of a list of golfers you're trying to add. You can just go ahead and do that, or you can just continue to set up, which puts you into this screen right here. So this screen, this gives you all the information for the golfer. You can edit this information by clicking edit. There's that little button on the upper right-hand corner. It is kind of small, and it doesn't like jump out at you, but you know, that's where it is. If you want to edit any information here, click that little button. Down here, you have the send reset password button, generate digital password. So there's also going to be a button that's going to allow you to send GHIN digital profile link. So basically what that does, this is going to be important for your new golfers. You got to click that and get that golfer the email to set up their digital profile, because that's going to give them access to start posting scores. So let's drill that down a little bit more with a new golfer. So brand new golfer, never had a handicap, looking to get started. So you're going to click new golfer. If it's a golfer that's over 18 years of age, we're going to click R. Um, and you want to put first name, last name. You want to select the gender. You want to get birth date is optional, but if you can get the birth date in there, that's great. Um, and you want to get the email address in there as well. Again, the email is key. That's what's going to give them the ability to set up their GHIN digital profile. That gets them access to the mobile app or GHIN.com to post scores. So we're going to add golfer. So what this does, this gives us the option in green to automatically send that digital profile link. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. That gets that golfer that email where they can just go ahead and log in and set up that profile. So junior golfer. So this is the last add golfer functionality I'm going to go over. Very important. Again, this is something where if you don't do it right, you end up getting a charge on that invoice unnecessarily. So we want to make sure junior golfer, when we add them, we're clicking add new golfer. We're selecting J for junior. And let's just go. We want to select the gender. If the golfer is over 13 years of age, they can have their own email address in there. If they're younger than 13, they're going to need to set up a Guardian account. So we'll do just going to make up an email. Gmail.com. And again, the key is just getting that birth date in there. And that just guarantees. So here's where does give you the option, so this golfer is over 13, but does give us the option to link that golfer to a Guardian. If the Guardian is a parent that there's a golfer and has a GHIN number, we can go ahead and put that in. It just links it up. If they don't have a GHIN number, then we're just entering the email address. So again, those are for your golfers that are under 13. If they're 13 and over, it's not necessary. And we can just go ahead and add the golfer. So I'm going to click add golfer. Again, we get that link to send the invitation, or we can just continue to set up. And so now that golfer's in as a junior. So I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to search the golfer. So by the way, you have this nice search here. You just type in a few letters of the name, and you can go ahead and see who you have here. So John Kennedy's in there. His birthday, he's in his type J. So come June 1st, when we run those rosters to see who we need to bill at all of our member courses, John Kennedy's going to be free. Zero charge for any of your golfers on your roster that are 18 and under. If they turn 19 this year, they will get charged. So 18 and under, so they got to be turning 18 in the year, so they're not going to be charged. So I'm gonna pause for a second because we're gonna pivot off of this. Any questions on that? Just gonna check the comments. Everybody, nobody's waiting in the lobby. It's good. Anything in the chat? So those of you who came in late, I do have everybody muted right now, but again, it's a light group, so I'm totally fine with you unmuting yourself and asking questions. But you can also use the chat. So use the chat. And again, we're gonna move pretty quickly. I'm gonna try to wrap this up right at 11 o'clock. So if we do kind of skip through, we skip through topics that you really wanted to kind of dig deeper into, just email me or reach out to me off off list, and we'll definitely go through that stuff with you. Okay, so getting back to our agenda here. Let's just go over some score edit functionality real quick. It's really straightforward, easy to use. So we're going to go back to our landing page, and we're just going to click on any golfer here. So again, all these golfers, you just click on them. If you look over here to the right, which is digital profile, that tells you that every one of these golfers has a digital profile, which is great. These golfers are brand new. Those are the ones we just entered. They don't have a profile yet. You can click on these headers if you want to like see who's been added recently. That kind of filters it by status date. You can have some fun sometimes just clicking handicap index, and it just kind of gives you a quick filter who your low index people are. I know some of you have reached out recently because you may have some team match kind of stuff coming up, and you've asked for reports like low index to high index, and we'll show you where you can find those actual reports. But you can actually just find it right here. Like I just filtered it. This is this is high to low, but what this also is, it shows you NHs. So if you see that, and I recommend all of you to do this. The NHs basically tell you, I mean, these golfers are new, so we know why they haven't posted scores. But if they have NHs, that means they either haven't posted any scores, or they only have up to 2 scores in their score history. That's good to know. You want to kind of have a sense of who's posting and then why are they NHs, and something might trigger like, hey, yeah, I know that golfer plays a lot of golf, and there's no reason for that to be an NH. And you can address that with the golfer to make sure they're starting to post scores the way they're supposed to be. And maybe they're just confused about the process, and you can kind of help them through, like, hey, download the mobile app and go ahead and start posting after you play. All right, so these are cool little filters. You can click on any of these headers. You can also export this information to an Excel file, and then you can sort and filter it through the Excel file. So getting back to our roster, let's just click on a name here. So immediately we got some handicap management information. We're going to get into these green buttons a little in a few minutes, but we're just going to focus on the scores right now. But you can see we got the index, we got the low index, we got these options here. I can look at all the scores in the scoring record. The start scores are the 8 of 20 scores. Those are the actual scores that are being used to calculate the handicap index. And if I scroll to the bottom, I have a history of the golfer's handicap. Some really good information on the landing page for this golfer. And then click on score maintenance. Score maintenance gives me similar information, shows me those starred scores. Gives me the course, score, course and slope rating, the name of the course, differentials, all the information, really that was on the other screen. But now I have this ability to edit and delete the score. So if I want to edit the score, I'm just going to go ahead and click edit. I can edit the date. I can edit the type. I can edit the tee played. This golfer's doing a great job. They're posting hole by hole. So if there was a score edit, she reaches out to me as the golf admin and says, hey, I have a 9 for that 5th hole. I meant to post a 7. I can go ahead and change that here. Just clicking 7 and click edit score, and that's going to make that change. So this is where you can make your changes for your golfers. Your golfers cannot, you should know this, but if you don't, your golfers cannot edit their own scores. So keep that in mind. So if they have made mistakes, they have to do it through the club, course, golf staff, or we have a great feature in the mobile app. It's a contact us feature. Goes right to we have a Zendesk that's monitored by multiple staff people, and they can email us, and as soon as we get the email, we can go ahead and make those edits as well. So that's been pretty good. I think golfers, we get a ton of emails through it, and hopefully that helps you all, lighten the load on your end with that option. So if they want to delete the score, you see the delete option. Again, straightforward. It always prompts you to make sure that, hey, are you sure you want to delete the score? Just say yes, and then boom, the score is deleted. So straightforward, solid edit and delete functionality at your fingertips here in the admin portal. So let's look at some of the other filters in the portal here. We can filter. So this golfer, we can filter by just home scores, which would just be Bailey scores. I can filter just away scores. So this will show you right away, where else the golfer is playing. I can filter competition scores, so I can just see purely, how that golfer is performing in competitions. I can see the 9-hole scores. Just click that N. No, whether or not there's 9-hole scores, I can just go down here. This P is for penalty, E is for that ESR. And this golfer did have a great round, with that, and did receive a -2 ESR with that 106. So that's that exceptional score reduction, where if the golfer plays 7 strokes better than their index, they get a -1. If they play 10 strokes better, they get a -2. So that's that -2 you're seeing right there. So some really neat functionality here. We can filter by holes played. We can filter by date played. We can do ranges of, you might want to just see a window of scores for that golfer. So you just want to put like from all of August 2023. You can do that here by putting these ranges in. Select August. 2023, August 1 to August 3rd. 30th, 2023. And no scores are posted during that time, but you see the functionality. I really like this day of the week option because we all know, and every club dynamic is different, but you have golfers, that, during the week, they may be playing away a lot. And, there might be that's where you may find some of those away rounds impacting the golfer's handicap index. So you can kind of filter that. But then you have your weekend options as well. I'm going to clear this, gotta clear this filter here. So again, days of the week. So let's just see if we might want to just look at Saturday and Sunday. Just kind of compare those scores, those weekend scores to the weekday scores. And then you can see, one of the competitions happening are in the weekdays. So again, some neat filters here to help you when you're reviewing your golfers. So I'll use that review word as a pivot to some of the new features that are coming up with regard to World Handicap System Oversight Committee and Committee Review. You are going to have a report. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see it today, but you are going to have a report that's going to flag golfers. I'm just going to switch over to the slides we showed at the presentation we did last week on the World Handicap System. So let's talk about handicap review. So basically, as committee members and golf staff, you want to work together and you want to be able to review all of your members periodically, at least once a year. Once a month is recommended. But what these review tools are going to help you with is they're going to help you kind of narrow down your review. They're going to flag golfers for you that you should be interested, that you should be paying attention to. So there's going to be some technical specifications that they're going to this reporting. It's going to show up. There's going to be automatic reports that you're going to get, and you're going to have access to these reports as well. So there's going to be equations put together. They're going to help determine a player's expected score and a mean of standard deviation. Golfers can always have good and bad days. So the tolerance for the flag is set, with that in mind, and frequency of play is also going to be taken into consideration. So the first step is going to be, getting this report. So this is going to, again, it's going to be automatically sent to the handicap chairpersons and staff listed to within the user accounts on the admin portal. It's going to review each player flagged for a handicap index adjustment. So step 2 is you want to go into the report and review all the players that are flagged for a handicap adjustment. You're going to be able to see the scores that are being flagged in this report. You're going to be able to see when players played to their last handicap index, and there's going to be a comparison versus general play versus competition play. The key is to use this information along with any other information you have regarding the golfer. It might be past information, past performance, a situation that that was questionable. It might be health related. Hey, this golfer's handicap got a lot higher, and then he started playing better, but he got higher during the time where he was, he or she may have been going through cancer treatment, but they're starting to play better now, and that's why we're getting these flags because of that. So you want to use all information available that you know about your golfers. Key things, one thing that the USGA World Handicap System want you to keep in mind is that winning, listen, winning a competition does, it should, you should pay attention to that, obviously, but it doesn't always mean somebody, played better than their handicap index. It's not always flag type thing just because a golfer wins. It is possible, and I'm sure you've seen it where some of you may have won a competition where you just kind of played okay, you played to your handicap, but you still ended up winning. So that can't be the only thing. So that's part of it though. That's part of it. All right. So step three, decision time. And, after you've gathered all of your information, you know, what's the next step? And do we want to act on the recommendations? So this is just in Appendix D. You can reference it in the World Handicap System. Definitely take a look at through the appendices and look at this. This just gives you some kind of charts. The number of differentials given a number of scores posted that would generate a flag towards a recommendation to bump the golfer's handicap index up or to bump the handicap of the golfer down. So there will be recommendations on the report. Again, either one, a minimum of one up, or it might be an example of going two down on a golfer. So we're gonna, once we jump off this PowerPoint, we're gonna go through how to do that through the admin portal. But this slide's a good slide here. I'm gonna just enlarge it. And if you have the ability to print the screen, again, this is print this screen. So this is all the things that you want to keep in mind when you're reviewing a golfer and considering maybe adjusting this golfer's handicap index upward or downward. Again, compare those scores, those casual rounds versus those competitive rounds. Those weekday scores, again, knowing the golfer. Think about that. Knowing the golfer, a guy who's bringing in clients, entertaining, and maybe they're not playing as well during those rounds during the week. Those scores are going in, but on the weekend, on those Saturday, Sunday matches with members, they're kind of grinding and playing a little more focused, playing better. Is that happening a lot? And is this golfer getting an advantage, whether intentional or unintentional? So comparing those scores is important. So this is an example where the adjustment tool, recommends that Bruce's handicap gets adjusted by a stroke. As a reminder, if you are, everybody's in favor of going ahead with this adjustment, you have to give Bruce an opportunity to appeal it. So you have to inform him that, hey, this is what was decided. You know, your handicap, you were flagged using the World Handicap System review tool. The committee reviewed it. We decided that yes, it's a good idea for your handicap index to be adjusted, and it will be adjusted on this date going forward. And then Bruce has an opportunity to say, hey, I don't think this is right, and he can explain why he doesn't think it's right, and then he's had that opportunity to maybe change the minds of the committee, or not. But you do want to provide that opportunity. And I think what's going to be nice about this tool Again, mid-May is when we think it's going to be available. Hopefully sooner. But I did speak with somebody yesterday and indicated that we would be waiting until mid-May to get this. Um, and we're going to talk a little bit about Cat Patrol later. And if there's anybody here, so Cat Patrol is outside of the World Handicap System. If there's anybody on this call that's using Cat Patrol now, I want to give you an opportunity to maybe talk about it to everybody else here in the group and the benefits. So just be ready for that towards the end of the this morning's presentation. Um, but again, that automatic function, that's what Cat Patrol does, automatically flags golfers, kind of focuses more on competition scores. It's good for committees. It makes it less personal when you have to address a golfer where there might be concerns about their performance and the equitability of them being in a field of players in a competition. So that automatic aspect, I think, makes that conversation a lot easier. So here's an example. If we do go ahead with the adjustment, so if we did go ahead with a -1 adjustment, Bruce would be down marked 6.4 M. The M indicates that the golfer's handicap has been modified. It adjusts every score presently in the score history. But as a golfer, as we go forward and the golfer continues to play more golf, those scores are not adjusted. So the golfer does have an opportunity to start playing more. Hopefully, the play is more representative of their ability, and we kind of just move past the need for a handicap index adjustment for this golfer. Okay, so let's pause for a second. And any questions on that? And I'm just going to jump back to the presentation. Let's see if we got anything in the chat. So that report, that's a good question. How often does the handicap review report get sent to the staff and the handicap chair? The information I have right now is monthly. It's going to be a monthly report. However, it's going to be a report you can access at any time. And probably if there was a need for it to be sent, on a weekly basis, I'm almost certain that it'll be able to adjust it to a weekly report if that's necessary. And we're getting ready to dive into looking at reports and scheduling reports, and so that should be pretty easy. But really good question. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to reports. Actually, before we get into reports, let's talk about modifying an index. So let's just, again, we can pull any golfer here that's active. Let's take a look at Thomas, and just a random golfer here. But let's just say for what we're talking about here that there has been a review with regard to this member at Bailey. The committee has discussed this, um, and has agreed to go ahead with an adjustment. So how do we do that? So a couple things to keep in mind here. One, I'm really happy to consult and help and facilitate these adjustments. And if you feel like reaching out to the New Jersey State Golf Association, an authority at New Jersey State Golf, um, I encourage you to do it. I can talk through this process. I can bring up some aspects of the process that might help you decide whether or not that, yeah, we should definitely make the adjustment, or maybe you want to back off the adjustment, because I've had a lot of experience talking to clubs, a lot of different circumstances. A lot of them kind of match up the same way, but there are unique circumstances as well that I've been involved with. So take advantage of that. That's important. Don't hesitate to reach out to get that extra feedback from me. as your New Jersey State Golf Association, um, authority on World Handicap System matters. Take advantage of that. But if you are ready to go ahead and make the adjustment, these are the tools you have here to do it. So let's go ahead and click Modify Handicap Index. So we can just kind of go right at the index and type in. So he's 10.6. I can type in 9.6 and then set an expiration. So if you do that, you have to set an expiration date. Um, so it won't allow you to do it unless you actually set that expiration. So that can be a month, 2 months. Again, this is where it's good to kind of talk to somebody like me, because I can give you some ideas as to how many months you want to go ahead and do that, and then you click save, and then that's all set to go. I think the better approach is adjusting the actual score differentials. And at a minimum, if you remember from the handicap committee section of the World Handicap System seminar, the minimum is a 1-stroke adjustment up or down. So you can't come in and do like a 0.5 adjustment. It won't let you do that. It has to be at least 1 stroke up or down. So if we did a -1, actually, or we can just do 1.0, and then we can go upwards or downwards, and click save, and then it gives you that option here. Are you sure? Go ahead and click confirm. Give you some real time. So just as it showed us in that presentation slide, you see that -1 adjustment on all the golfers' scores. Again, there's no need to set a date now. As the golfer posts, plays more golf, it'll push out those scores with the -1 adjustment, and that the newer scores will eventually have more of an impact on the golfer's index than the adjusted score. So this adjustment, it is it's kind of an organically, it's temporary and organically kind of works its way out, which is a really good approach. But it communicates the message, it creates the equitability that you want in the present time, and then kind of organically, as the golfer posts, kind of works itself. The golfer works himself, his or herself, back to what their their scores and differentials are a reflection of their handicap. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna just adjust that back. We'll clear this later. Any questions on that? So you have this withdrawal handicap index. That's like the third or fourth option. Before if the golfer continues to kind of be a problem, you can just go ahead and click withdraw, and you can withdraw the index. Again, you have to inform the golfer if you're going to do this, and you have to set an expiration date on the withdrawal as well. Questions? Great. Okay, let's look at some reports. So in your admin portal, you have some tools at the top here. Rapid score entry. This is actually pretty cool. I would definitely, and it's very straightforward. Use it. My clubs without real estate that are on, you may want to use this here and there if you want to post scores for your members, but that's there if you need it. But we're going over to reports. And so my reports, it comes up, these are your scheduled reports, if you have any. Bailey does not have any. I'm sorry. These are your custom reports. These are your scheduled reports. and these are your templates. And so let's just go through and talk about the templates. So we have our cap golfer report. It's a great report that shows you all the golfers that have a cap, whether it's a soft cap or a hard cap. So let's just go ahead and run it. Let's see what we got. So we have all soft caps here. It just as a quick review of the cap, the soft cap is a golfer's whose current handicap index is 3 or more strokes above their low handicap. So we have this Anthony Bell. He was his low index for the year, 365 days, is 10.0. His current index is 13.2. So he's 0.2 above 3 strokes. So that at 0.2, um, I'm sorry, he's zero point 0.4 above 3 strokes. His current index is 13.4. So that zero point 0.4 is then suppressed by 50%, and then he ends up being a 13.2 of the soft cap. So we let golfers improve up to 3 strokes, and then anything above that gets suppressed by 50%. And then the highest you can go is if even after the suppression, if it's still more than 5 strokes, then that's the hard cap. That's the hard cap. So this is a great report to review. Gives you an idea of who's being capped. It's important to look at this too, because a lot of times, I mean, this Anthony Bell is a good example here. He, they people get upset about the caps. They see the little exclamation on their next to their name. And they're like, hey, why am I getting flagged? And in this case, I mean, we're only talking about 2/10 of a shot, not really a big deal. So if they start appealing and getting really into like, hey, why am I capped? And they give you a million excuses as to why they shouldn't be, and then you can kind of like look at that, like, listen, appreciate your, where you're coming from, but we're not going to do anything to adjust this cap because it's only 2/10 of a point. Like you can just continue to play golf and you'll be fine, kind of thing. All right, so let's look at some more reports. We have the exceptional score reduction report. That's a great report. Love to see who gets an ESR. I've said this before. If I ever get an ESR, which would mean I shot 7 shots better than my handicap, so I'm like a 10. So that would mean I probably shot something close to par. And I guarantee if that happens, there will be a big party at my house. That will be a reason to celebrate. And it might not be a one night thing. It might go on for the weekend. It's that would be really exciting. It's very hard to do, but it does happen. It does happen. And so there is an adjustment that takes place, so you can kind of review that and take a look at that, which is great. And so let's keep going on these reports. And this is probably this handicap index and course handicap playing report is probably still a popular report for you all. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Um, so we have our filter options here. We can just do men, we can just do women, 18. We can just do a certain set of tees. We can, activate golfer, active, inactive. In general, you're going to be active. You can pick a hit. You can pick a revision date. If you have groups set up, which Bailey looks like they do, you can just select certain groups, and you can kind of zero in on any modified indexes, and you can also put in an allowance. So that's where the playing handicap comes in. So if you're doing this for a competition, you can put 90% in if you're using 90% for your competition. And then you have this, it's kind of sneaky here. You have an advanced option, and the advanced gives you more filters. And this is the one, so where it says primary sort, a lot of you like that handicap index, low to high option. That's where this is right here. So handicap index, and we'll do ascending, so that's low to high. And let's go ahead and, we can change portrait here if we want to, but let's go ahead and run it now. So this gives you that low to high index, gives me the course handicap and the playing handicap, which we can see with our 5.7. So from the blue tee, his course handicap is 4, playing handicap is 3. Course handicap is used for adjusting hole scores. The playing handicap is used for the actual competition. That's at 90%. Right, let's move on to another report. And okay, so there's a few more I want to go through here. Let's go to this, the scores report. And I want to show you something on this report that I think is really gonna be really helpful for your review. So let's go to the report. Sorry. So if you go down to scores report, this is the list of scores posted by your members. Um, you have your filters again, but we're just gonna just run this report. And then, so if you look at this report, what I want to highlight here is this NSD column. That's a net score differential. And what's cool about it is that you have the handicap index right next to the net score differential. So you can see right away, Vicky, if she shot that 91, she's got a minus 3.4 differential. So she shot almost 3.5 strokes better than her handicap that day. So when you're reviewing a golfer, this is like a really good indicator of when they performed well. And what's also cool is you can set filters up. So if we if we export this report, which it's very simple to do, you just click export. You can change it to an Excel file and then click export. This is what you get. And you can add your filters. Those of us are pretty good with Excel, you can go under filter, set filters, and you can sort. Like you can either just go through here and just check off, all the negative differentials, or you can sort this. And again, really kind of zero in on golfers, um, and see, who at your club, last year played better than how many played better than their index, and how many times did they do it? Um, this Excel sheet will allow you to sort through and find that, which I think is very helpful. And I have one golfer here that stood out to me. And you can see here, you have again, you have his scores, and you have this minus 9.3 differential, the 26.7 index. This golfer, right now is a 16.5. So I mean that really stands out. That's that's an E score, which get that ESR adjustment, obviously. But just really helpful information and kind of a quick way. So you're not, again, you don't have to look through your whole, roster and all the scores posted at your club. You can just, run these reports and then use the filters to kind of zero in on these negative net score differentials where the golfers are playing better than par, and then better than their handicap index, and then you can see the score right next to the index. So right away you're seeing like, wow, you know, minus 5.7 net score differential, and that's his index of 17.6, and you can look at the score. You know, just a lot of good information there. That'll help you, um, learn more about the golfer. All right, so moving on to another report, which I think is helpful. Let's look at the playing condition calculation report. So this report is great. You can, let's just, I want to do it for your quote. Bailey. And let's go ahead and just run it we're going to go back to last year just to see if we had some conditions last year at the course where that playing condition calculation kicked in. Okay, so when you see the plus, so we did have it obviously. So we April 2nd, we had a +1. May 29th, we had a +2. So the pluses mean the course played harder. And that'll impact your member differentials, downward. So their differentials will, of course, played harder. That means their score, whatever it was, like it was better, it was a better round than indicated, because of the tough conditions. If there's a minus differential, that means the course played a little easier. And then that score differential is going to go up about one stroke. So great report, great, fun to review, and kind of see what days, that kicked in, how many times it kicked in throughout the year. All, just good stuff for golf staff, committee members, just to review and, learn more from it. Okay, so a couple more reports. One more really. Okay, this is the one I wanted to show everybody. So this is the played/posted report. Let's go ahead and click it. So this is going to allow you to analyze posting tendencies for your members. So let's go back to last year. The idea here is to, you want to encourage your golfers to post after they play. It's key. It's key for the playing condition calculation that we just talked about, because the playing condition calculation, it's only looking at the scores. It's not, doesn't know what the weather conditions out. Doesn't know that the greens are rolling, 13.5 on a stimp. It just sees the scores. And so the more score, we have to have at least 8 scores posted for there to be any consideration for a playing condition calculation. The more scores posted, the better the calculation is, the better data that's in to determine whether or not that adjustment. So key that you post that day for that reason. Also key for handicap review. And a lot of us on this call, you've played golf, you've lost money, whatever with a golfer. You want to make sure that golfer posts a score and that handicap gets revised that night. I want to be able to go in the next day and see that score posted, kind of assuring me that the next time I compete with that golfer, it's going to be, it's going to be some equitability there, because I know that golfer played well and probably maybe played a little better than their handicap. So I'm expecting that handicap maybe to go down. So that's part of the review. So we go in, we can look at that as golfers. We can look at our fellow golfers' information like that. So make sure you post those scores. That's doing the right thing. It's posting after you play. So what this tells us is that, is the golfer posting those rounds the day after they play. So we have a mixed bag here of data. We get Carl, who, he's not, none of the scores got posted the day you played. So run this report, identify the, ident, you know, identify the golfers that stand out to you. Like, wow, you know, we got to help this golfer with getting a better habit of posting after they play. Um, great report, great report. Should definitely help you, um, encourage golfers to correct that habit of posting maybe a day later, 2 days later, for whatever reason. There may not be any kind of manipulation involved at all. It might just be, a little bit lazy, forgetful. They like doing it when they're at work the next day because it's just like a break for them to kind of go through and post hole by hole and kind of think about their stats and all that kind of stuff. You know, that that's possible. Or it might be prolonging posting a score because I have a match tomorrow and, I want to get, want to make sure I'm getting a couple strokes that I want to get for the match. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So post after you play, and this identifies those golfers who are not doing a good job doing that. Okay. Questions on that? So there's a question on user passwords in the portal, adding accounts, deleting accounts. So really good question. So let's just jump into the portal real quick. Click manage. Um, so I'm back at my home screen. If you want to go to account, and then manage users, this is where you can add users and then you can edit users. And then you can, generate a link, email that golfer to create their password, um, or recreate their password. So there's a lot of easy options to do that. Um, and you can also just have, if you want to involve me, just email me the email address of who you want to be an admin and who you might want to take out, and I can just go ahead and delete that person. You can't delete admins here, but I can do it on my end. So just let me know if we need to delete admins, and then I can also help you create a new admin as well. Good question. Thank you. Okay, winding down. Went a little over an hour, so I apologize for that. I did want to keep it brief. Again, I went through a lot. We kind of scanned over some stuff that you may have been like, you know what, I really want to learn more about it. Just reach out, let me know. We can really kind of talk about certain aspects of the admin portal and how it can help you with handicap review, all of that when on a different time, on your time. And happy to do that. So again, key dates. So April 1, first day to post. Also keep in mind, so two things as far as handicap billing. So one, it's $34 a player this year. So that's up $1 from last year. May 15 is your date to make sure you've inactivated any golfers that are not joining this year. So May 15 is that date. As long as you get those golfers out of the system, by that time you're good. You won't get billed for them. Also, you can always put golfers back in. So if you take a golfer out and then it turns out that actually they are going to continue to be a member, it's just real easy. Activate the golfer, then they're back, and they'll show up on the next bill. So we bill you. Speaking of that, so there's three cycles to our billing. There's June 1st. That's for all the active golfers on your roster as of June 1st. And then anybody you add between June 1st and August, we bill you again in August for those golfers, and then again late November for anybody you add September 1st and on. So that's how that works. Any questions on that, just reach out, shoot an email, If you want a little more instruction on going over, managing your roster, I can definitely help you out there as well. Okay, so that concludes our admin portal webinar. Hopefully it was helpful. And again, Rich Kennedy, and I'm here to help you guys with whatever you need with regard to handicap review or anything you need in the admin portal. Just please don't hesitate to reach out. And good luck this season. Have a great day, and hopefully some warmer weather soon. Thanks.